Welcome back to the LCS Academy Summer Split, powered by Verizon. I'm Mazel, joined by Joshi and Mad Magical. This time around, we're in the middle of our CLG vs. EG series, where, it was a very convincing game number one in certain aspects, but I'd say there's a couple things that could have gone differently both ways. We're going to start off with a halftime segment I know and love, and hopefully you guys too at this point, because it's one of my favorites. It's Yordle time, baby. Absolutely.
Where's that random word that I found last time? I know I put there.
Find it, because with this game show, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with our casters. I have picked a word. It has something to do with a theme of that first game that we just watched, and maybe a little bit of something, casters were talking about, or anything like that. What happened? The major narrative points. It is 6 letters, though.
Uh-oh.
You guys are gonna have 5 guesses to get this word correct.
Okay.
Now, every guess that you do, if you get the letter in the right place and it is the right letter, it'll be a green box behind the letter. If it is the right letter in the wrong place, it'll be a yellow box. And if you get the wrong letter at all, it'll be a gray box. So I will let you guys decide if you want to collaborate on this first guess.
I want my first one.
Let's see what you guys want to go for. All right, we're just going to go ahead and give it to Joshi. Magical didn't say anything. Let's do it.
I want it to be shapes because it's something Magical needs to learn more about.
Oi! Oi!
Oh my god!
It's an octagon.
I couldn't even get the lock-in in there. Oh, I love it though. Yeah, but we
only got an E.
It's
on the right spot.
Some good stuff. Hey, one is better than nothing. All right,
All
you
right.
know there's an E in there.
So
all right,
I'm gonna
you guys
go
can
with
go ahead and go with the second word.
Zixins. So
What?
Zyxins.
That's a word?
Kelsey, I hope you can get that right.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
What is that? What does it mean?
Hey!
Hey!
Oh,
I looked it up.
Hey, but
You don't
look
even-
at that. Look, you've got 3 letters now. It helps. It actually helps. Hey, he got more letters right than you, Josh.
I know. I'm mildly annoyed by that.
What do you guys guess for the third one? What do you think it could be?
I'm trying to think.
Is it
Magical.
about the game or something?
No way.
No way.
It's about lunch I had yesterday.
Okay, so lunch you had yesterday. Let's see. Subway
It is
would
about
work.
the game, Magical. It's about the game.
Subway would work, but I don't think it actually would because it doesn't have an A in
The
it.
first word that comes to mind is feisty, but there's no S.
Feisty.
Yeah, that's
what
what about- No, fiery doesn't work either because it's too short.
Let's go. Let's throw in
Six makes it
feisty
a little bit
anywhere.
more complicated.
All right, let's
Just
just
see if
it
put
Y's
at the
feisty in.
end.
We're gonna lock in feisty.
Yeah.
Feisty.
F-E-I?
Feisty is the third guess.
Yeah, there we go.
Guy.
No, the wrong button.
You don't know words.
Oh.
Now we
Fiesty.
do have positions for this one here. Now,
okay.
I is in the right place. Y is in the right place. You got an E somewhere in between.
Interesting.
What could it possibly be? What could it possibly just possibly be? I mean, it's kind of crazy thing. What are you guys' fourth guess before I guess for you?
Before you guess for us.
Yeah, that's the new stipulation. You go too long, a host gets to throw in a guess now.
Okay.
Even though I know the word, I'm just gonna throw in a random word.
Oh, okay. It's gotta have an I.
Oh no! You're making me get callbacks to Desiree
No
the first time I did
T.
this
Oh,
with
no.
him. He's like, words. Oh no, words. Words.
Direly.
What?
Direly.
Is
Yeah.
that even a
D-I-R.
Josh, are you sanctifying this?
L-Y. Like it's dire. It's a direly situation.
Before we get it in, let's make sure Josh wants
I
to
will.
block this
I will
in.
allow it. I will allow it.
It's like a
He's already
direly
guessed
situation.
Zixins.
You have one guess after this. That's all I'm saying. Nobody has ever not guessed the word. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, but
So,
look at that. Look
now,
at that. Look at
you
that.
got E and you got L in the right place. You got one guess. Put your brain power together. Get the analytics from Joshi. Get the energy from Magical.
Look,
you got
I'm really
one time.
worried that the word is lively.
Why are you
Because
worried?
because we already have an L, and this is like the tricky part whenever you play games like this one, right? Like,
Yeah.
are there 2 L's in the word?
Could
What
it
else could it
possibly?
be?
Lively is a good one.
Lively is not a bad one.
No, I do like lively.
All right, let's do it. Let's go lively.
All right, let's lock in lively. You will not be our first contestant
go.
to get
We
it
did
wrong.
it.
It is lively because that game was definitely full of life. I was looking for an iteration of chaotic. You guys mentioned that a lot in the beginning of the game, especially when you guys were talking about like setting up the win cons. It was a chaotic game. It was a lively game. Both teams, especially at the beginning, it was quiet. But then there was skirmishing left and right. The fights were all over the place, it felt like. And then as the game progressed, CLG progressively got stronger, it felt like. And this started it all off here. This crazy play to get Rosethorn down, to get the Rift Herald for EG.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of opportunities for Evil Geniuses to try and find like some side lane structures, right? Carry got one while this fight was going on, or maybe not this fight, but a different fight was going on in the top side. We saw that Soligo was able to get a structure, Serdi was able to get a structure. They never actually like lined up for a strong fight, and Kauri never really got to participate. He had a small lead, but we said as soon as Meech gets his first kill, it's all over.
And you got that, and then you bring in Jenkins, like I was talking about, like why I was fearful for Evil Geniuses when it came to team fights. Even if it's an unorthodox style with everyone that is capable of flanking, you got Wukong, you've got Yumi, you've got Twitch, you've got Jenkins on his cannon.
Yeah.
That is a lot to control all territory.
Can I get a request from production? Is it possible to get just that last clip played again? I don't know if they're all like one long video or like loaded in separately.
If anything, we could also just go back through it as well.
Why do you want to show that?
I have a question for Magical and a question for Lemon as well.
It's the shape. It's the shape question.
It's
no.
an octagon.
We'll see if we can get that clip to roll back through, if possible. If not, we can always just continue the conversation about the pop-off plays that we did get to see. Especially for me, it's looking at Meech and seeing a lot of the strength still played through that bottom lane as well as the rest of the as the rest of the team. And we do get the clip.
Here we
so
go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So,
all right, Alex.
Count the sides. Count the sides. Ready? Ready?
Doesn't have sides.
Yeah.
They said
1,
don't do math
2,
on stream.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Lennon.
I counted 8.
Lennon.
Wait, what? Hold on, counting? I don't think that was the right count.
Penultimate.
I don't think that was the right.
I counted it. I counted 8. 8 sides.
Lennon, we need an arbiter. We need an arbiter at this point. Can you give us your ruling?
Neither?
What?
All shapes.
This isn't a BLM protest, Lennon.
Wait.
Date sides.
But,
Date sides.
Zero
right.
sides. It's a circle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is a circle Magical.
Circle
I'm sorry.
has
Like,
infinite
I wanted to
sides.
stick. I wanted to stick with you, buddy. I was right there for a little while, but
Circles don't
like
have 0
flat Earth.
sides. They have infinite sides.
Moving on. We're not going to
he's
get into a
technically not
theological
wrong. He's
discussion.
technically not wrong. But that was our iteration of Yordle. A little bit of fun with that one, but it was a very lively first game, and I think it's something that we're gonna need to see a little bit of that life come through for Evil Geniuses, and especially a little bit of bounce back there, because I'm looking at what we set up at the beginning of the day. Serdi, a little bit of inconsistency there, but still a lot of strength in the hands, a lot of strength in the brain, but you really need to see him unlocked. And I think Tomio had a very interesting start to the game where he was hard clearing, he was getting full objective focus, but then it started to fall off a little bit when the teams fell behind, Joshi.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that we got to ask is, where was Kauri? Where was Smoothie in this game? They didn't have a whole lot of impact, and again, we're going to keep coming back to this. For players that we had high expectations for, they're not necessarily living up to them. Kauri and Smoothie, they had about a 20 CS lead against Meech and Breezy, who were roaming out of the lane multiple times. And, well, they got everything they were supposed to. For somebody that we are looking at for a potential MV prospect yet again, that's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's the step-up moment, right? It's trying to figure out, what could possibly going on. They were hunting submarines, so I don't know how, maybe they need new equipment. But the draft from the side of CLG Academy, I think, was super huge and magical. I love seeing some iterations that we don't necessarily see as often coming through here.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the Twitch Yumi paired up for the side of CLG was an exciting prospect. And I mean, while it didn't have the most exciting lane phase, I was expecting a little bit more volatility from both the Twitch Yumi versus the Zeri Lulu lane. Eventually, you get to the point, as Josh had kind of called out, you get that first kill for Twitch, it is over. You haven't put him far enough behind. And even worse was the fact that Triple was gargantuan on that Talia. The Talia mid lane has been one of these powerful tools. It has the flexibility to go to the jungle, sure, but you see the players who are more than comfortable taking her mid lane and how great they can dictate the entire game.
I think that's what's so crazy is like how strong the Talia has been. How many times we've seen it let through. Not the 14-0-14 record, but still pretty darn good here as Champion Select is ready for our final game of week number 3 here on the stream. Number B.
Yep,
or
not
slash
you
pass
too,
LCS.
Not you too.
All right, guys, take it away from the Champion Select. We'll see you at the other side.
And we'll see if we get another octagon on the map, just to annoy Josh a little bit further. But both teams have swapped sides. And I'm expecting to see a bit of an adaptation when it comes to draft. I'm surprised more so that Twisted Fate is being banned this early by CLG. Mostly because, well, Soligo, you know, the Twisted Fate was a difficult thing in lane to deal against. Didn't really have the most impact when it came to the mid game.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think if there are actually any octagons that exist in League of Legends. Gwen's Hallowed Mist might be an octagon, but beyond that, I can't actually think of anything with 8 sides.
Yeah, except for Cannon's ult. Yeah.
Moving on, because we do know that Gwen might be played by both these sides, but I actually find that this Seraphine ban super fascinating going up.
Yeah,
against,
same here.
Evil Geniuses, right? Because neither of them have played it. We've seen Kaori play Senna once, which is, you know, one of the more common pairings for the Seraphine. But it's the kind of thing where we know that Sligo has some of his own unique picks, right? He will play things like this Swain, which kind of provides, I don't want to say like they're the same champion in any regard, but they kind of provide similar roles, just like medium magic damage dealers that provide a ton of sustain and allow you to stay in fights a lot longer over the course of the game. So maybe it's a target ban at Soligo, especially in preparation for 12-12.
Well, seeing this, yeah, it is probably more likely a target ban. As you said, we haven't really seen Smoothie or Kaori play the Senna Seraphine bot lane, but here we see an instant lock-in on that Senna for the side of CLG Academy, which is a bit surprising to me. I'm a bit surprised CLG locked that in so quickly, especially because they banned away Seraphine, and that's something that's been historically pretty good. Even though the Tahm Kench is available, you then have to deal with what is presumably going to be the Ezreal Karma bot lane.
Yeah, we know that CLG LCS has been loving things like the Senna and the Seraphine in conjunction. Even Luger, who we've been praising so much for his ability to position during team fights on marksman, willing to kind of put aside the ego and just say, yeah, I will play the support in order to make sure we find these wins. But the Ezreal coming through for Kaori is something he has had a lot of success on, and our two most popular champions so far throughout the summer split in Wukong and Viego, one of them's locked in, the other one being hovered. We get the handshake yet again, so now CLG has to decide whether they want to grab the Tahm Kench here or allow it to be banned.
Nah, I expect him to be locked in here. It's such a safe bot lane, and while it's more than likely going to be a Karma pick here as well, so you have what is more standard, getting the bot lane plus jungler picked in the first 3 picks. It's nothing out of the ordinary. No spiciness from either side just yet.
Yeah, I think these are actually like our 3 most common pairings so far, right? We've been seeing a lot of Senna and Tahm Kench. It's not quite more popular than Ezreal Karma or Kalista Renata, but it's right on up there, right? And this is like our most standard possible draft we could have possibly asked for right now between CLG and Evil Geniuses. And now we got to see where the wrinkle is. If you're going for something that's really well known, like an opening chance, you got to have a little bit of preparation that your opponents are not ready for. And the Ahri Zoe bans make a lot of sense because was triple signature champion in spring, and something that Soligo is very happy to just blind into whatever.
Exactly. I mean, that and also looking at Soligo's Orianna, which is another pick that I'm wondering if it's going to be banned since they've taken away Twisted Fate. Seraphine presumably taken away from Soligo. Zoe there. And even the Ahri ban from the side of Evil Geniuses to me indicates it's kind of like a self-ban too, being like, yeah, I'm probably going to go for something a little bit more typical, maybe the Azir, maybe Corki. The Orianna, though, it feels much more of a Soligo type champion, especially when paired up with Wukong.
Yeah, and we also know that Surdy, when given counterpick, is so much more successful. So the fact that Evil Geniuses are on the red side is a huge opportunity for them to go up against Jenkins. The Azir was my expected pick coming through for Soligo, and now Jenkins has to kind of pick what he wants to blind. Typically, he's been playing a lot of Gwen, but the Gangplank has already been banned, and we know he'll just like pull out an Aatrox. He'll pull out a Gnar if he feels like it, but I'm kind of expecting he'll just go right on back to the Gwen and challenge Surdy to try and find an advantage against this champion.
Or go for Gnar, it looks like. That is another option that we've seen more players feel comfortable taking in a lot of these matchups. Picking Gnar blind. Saying, all right, what do you have against Gnar? Something that can have that range, that has security in the early levels, but also great team fight capabilities later on. I know that we're smirking over that hover right there, but I don't know if I'm as keen to see that. Mostly just because I don't know if Surdy is willing to. It's a decent matchup, yes.
Yeah.
But it's also got to make sure that you're getting ahead. You don't want to fall too far behind on Yasuo, because otherwise you just feel like you're a dud in top lane. So getting Gwen instead for Surdy feels more what we expected.
It's expected, but I'm not super thrilled by it, right? I was talking about this quite a bit yesterday when we saw it played. I believe it was Concept versus Tenacity, or maybe it was Bradley versus Soul. This is a good matchup for Gnar, right? It's very difficult for Surdy to prove an advantage with this counterpick, and it makes me wonder if the Camille might have been even better. Even though that is a very good matchup for Gnar, it is something where you have a lot of dive potential between the Camille and the Wukong. You can go underneath the turret and punish some of the early laning phase. So now, I feel like CLG, they have a winning, even to slightly winning top lane. They have an even to slightly winning mid lane. They have a bottom lane that Cowrie and Smoothie need to punish, and so that gives Evil Geniuses a very obvious point that they need to be spending their time on the map.
Also, just checking my little notebook here. It was actually Immortals Academy versus Evil Genius Academy. Surdy was the one who grabbed the Gnar matchup into Gwen. They opted into that matchup on the other side, so they're flipping it. Going for Gwen into Gnar, which, I mean, if we looked at how that game kind of played out in the early stages, it was Gnar favored.
Yeah, it's like I said, like this is my go-to counter pick whenever I see the Gwen in solo queue. I'm just going to slam the Gnar, partly because it's my best champion, but also because it's a good matchup, right? You just allow me to have a ton of freedom, and I'm no longer worried about dying early on in the game. So, Evil Geniuses, they now need to prove an advantage in the bottom lane. Cowrie Smoothie have a more dominant bottom side than Meech and Breezy, and we've seen teams like Cloud9, teams like Team Liquid will take this bottom lane matchup and blow it out of the water. We've seen the Tahm Kench down as much as 30 CS by the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's the son of Tahm Kench lane. You're okay with playing the weak side. You're okay with not necessarily being the powerful side, but this then puts other places of CLG kind of in the forefront, that have to be taking more control. And primarily, I'm looking at Rosethorn and how he's going to be able to impact Jenkins. If he's going to help out at all, because Azir Corki matchup is also another kind of dud lane where it's not too interactive. They just clear out waves really effectively.
Yeah, and so we see Rosethorn, despite the fact that he shows very briefly to clear out the ward, doesn't look like he's going to be starting with any help from his bottom lane. Instead, we're going to be doing the Raptors right away, so he will be able to clear that relatively quickly, and it implies to me that he's not looking to go top lane. He's looking for more of a farming style route early on.
And for the side of Tomio, same thing. I also need to stop saying it this side. I know that tilts our producer Kelsey. So I'm going to try to be better about that. But looking at how the junglers are at the moment, both sides, different from the side of, are just power clearing, just going for something kind of similar. Nothing really too fancy. I do know you're oohing and awing about Rosethorn skipping over red and going for Krugs instead.
Oh, no. I was oohing and awing at your profound vocabulary this time, because that's a pretty standard route. Like if you're going to start on the Raptors, you do the
what's an easier
after.
word to use than profound vocabulary is verbose.
True, we can just increase it. I feel like our word choice has been very exciting over the past couple of days, but we are seeing right now that Triple and Soligo are just going to be going kind of even, and the big thing is that neither of these mid laners can really fight the other one all that effectively, because it's just a matter of poking and trading, and then you can choose to opt into a low health lane, right, by going for extra auto attacks, but that just means that the junglers get to decide who wins.
I was going to say, Josh, be honest with me. Is this going to be another game where the first 10 minutes it's just farming?
Probably. Yeah, I know it's probably not your favorite thing to end off the day, to end off the week, but I don't expect either of these
Fight.
sides of the map to really try and find anything. It's going to be on Tomio to do something. I said I wanted him to come to the bottom lane, but it's not ridiculous for him to try and gank Jenkins now that Jenkins' lane is pushing back out.
Fight. Hey, look. Two
Oh,
junglers on
junglers.
Scuttle Crabs. Yeah, there's a potential fight there. We're looking at Jenkins, but actually Tomio secures himself that Scuttle Crab, denying that from Rosethorn, who probably wants to contest the bot lane one, except for how far Triple has been poked out by Saligo.
Yeah. I mean, it is Saligo using the Corrupting Potion to keep himself a little bit healthier in these long extended trades, but Triple opting to a slightly faster scaling option. So, you see bits of back and forth being picked up by both sides, but Tomio not even moving towards the bottom side Scuttle Crab, and Rosethorn will be able to pick that up if he chooses to investigate it.
Bit surprised. Thought Tomio would look to keep Rosethorn a little bit more contained, like he did last game. Took a while before Rosethorn really became a thorn in the side of Evil Geniuses, but he was able to eventually do it, and if you don't really contain him, we've seen what Rosethorn is truly capable of.
Yeah, and so now we are seeing the benefit of what Rosethorn is going for. Last split, we were talking about all the wild gank routes he would look to take. He was well known for going red Krugs Raptors into wrap around to gank mid lane from the top side. But this time, starting with the Raptors, he gets to farm much quicker. He gets his Raptors to spawn much faster, and Raptors and Krugs are just worth more gold and experience, especially second Krugs. Like, first clear of Krugs is actually specifically nerfed so that it doesn't give as much experience.
And with that jungle path thing, I'm starting to nod off a bit, just knowing that this game's going to take a while to really pick up.
It's a warm Friday.
It's a very
Feel like
warm
nap
Friday.
time?
I mean, not quite a time for siesta right now, because you have a bit of action in the
Oh,
bot lane.
oh.
Nice last embrace with the knockup on to Smoothie, forcing out the flash, but they've got the damage. The flash comes in. First blood. Thank you, CLG, for making it exciting.
There we go. They land the root, and Smoothie can't get away. His flash can only be used to dodge one thing, and if you're rooted, Brazy has an easy follow-up. So good play coming out from both Meech and Brazy to find that first blood. We were saying Cowrie and Smoothie needed to prove an advantage down here. They needed to find a CS lead. And giving over this kill, even though they still have the CS lead, evens up a lot of the issues that Meech and Breezy were already looking at. And it's just these small plays, these small routes that the centers can really find in order to make this lane incredibly difficult for Cowrie and Smoothie.
That's always the thing with watching Senna gameplays. How accurate are you at landing last embrace? How accurate can you get the route, even if it seems, minor. It seems one of those things that you don't really have to pay too much attention to. It's like you said, it can really turn the tides of bot lane. It can really impact it for the side of Senna. God, I said it again. For Senna and Tom Kench.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a skill shot that's not that hard to dodge because of how slow it is, but if it does land, it's very impactful because it roots you, and it can potentially root people around you. But Smoothie and Cowrie, because of the back cycle, because Meech and Breezy force the next part of the lane in, they will be able to get this first dragon for themselves, and so that is a small advantage. We cannot discount the fact that Cowrie and Smoothie are still up 20 CS in the lane. They are still doing a pretty decent job at finding that advantage. They just can't afford to make the same kind of slip-ups.
Plus, it wasn't Cowrie who got forced out. It was Smoothie who died, allowing Cowrie free time in bot lane still so he can keep scaling up, keep getting the farm. And all the while, his jungler is doing a good job at positioning. They've got themselves that dragon. They look for the play in the bot lane from the side of CLG to see if they can get on top of EG with no flash on Smoothie. You will be the target. But Cowrie's getting a lot of damage on the Meech, trying to see if he can turn it around at least, make it a 1-for-1 with the heal being a bit late. Meech is low. The flash in from Cowrie will make it an even 1-for-1 trade. But now it's Breezy's Tom Kench. We've seen him before. Tongue lash after tongue lash slaps down Cowrie.
Oh no, when you're getting the 2v2 kills as the send Tom Kench into Ezreal Karma, that's not good. We were praising Busio so much for doing it against this exact laning pair, against Cowrie and Smoothie. He was able to find the 1v2s effectively, and now Meech and Breezy doing the exact same thing.
This is given a bit of an opportunity for Rosethorn to invade, steal away blue buff, denying and slowing down the pace Wukong might have here in the mid game. So he's not quite level 6. He'll hit it after getting Gromp Wolves, but it slows down what could be capable for Evil Geniuses.
And this is a lot closer to what we were looking at originally, right? Before today started, we were saying Evil Genius is down about 1,400 at 15. CLG up about 1,800, and we're already seeing that that's coming true pretty quickly.
Already looking for plays around the map. Drawing up Meech, playing that supportive style with Senna. We take a look at the bot lane play. I like this from Meech, focusing down Smoothie, even though he's getting harassed by Cowrie.
Yeah, the crazy thing was the ward expiring, I think, actually bought enough time for them to find the counter kill onto Meech. But Breezy, he's not throwing out the Q. He doesn't want to root himself under the turret at all, just going with the auto attacks. Very smart, forcing Cowrie into an impossible position. And a 2v2 double kill going over. Meech now 2-1-1 is rapidly on his way to the Umbral Glaive to start controlling the rest of the map.
More control, more vision gameplay from both teams. This is kind of how the first few minutes, first 10 minutes were from the previous game, and we're about to see it replicated. But with CLG having that control initially, knowing that Rosethorn's got a bit of an advantage over Tomio, they were trying to see if they could steal away, at least deny the Rift Trail from being taken. And looking at Senna ult, but I'm more looking at Surdy on that flank. He was threatening CLG, which is why they didn't try to push the issue too far.
Yeah, that's an old nerf that's really coming through. It used to be that Corky's package spawned at 8 minutes, and CLG probably would have won that fight with the package, but whoa!
Okay. I'm interested. I like it. Getting a bit of poke back and forth. Last Embrace connecting too.
Nice animation cancel, actually.
Yeah.
For me, throwing out the W.
Yeah, it was. It was all nice. It just didn't mount to anything. I know you were surprised to see the Abyssal Dive there, but nothing fancy.
Yeah, I was just surprised that they were willing to go for that kind of play. But
I'm not. It's Breezy. Come on.
True. Breezy is a bit of a maniac, and now they have control. They're the ones taking plates away from Ezreal Karma. It feels like this lane has really just imploded. But Cowrie, we know he can be impactful later on. We will pay attention to his positioning because with the low amount of crowd control or the low amount of easy crowd control that CLG have to actually latch onto him, both Cowrie and Soligo can be relatively free if they position well.
Plus, the scaling is on the side of Evil Geniuses. While you do have to contend with Viego, Corki, Senna, hey, an Ezreal, Azir, Gwen is a very great scaling side as well that has a lot of power. And as you talked about, difficult to lock down for the side of CLG as now they're between the turrets trying to fight. But look at Soligo's angle. He could easily re-engage this fight with Tomio taking a lot of damage. And he looked for Breezy. Gets the kill with Emperor Survive. But now he's got to be careful with the resets for Rosethorn. Flash over the wall. But Reset City, baby, is Rosethorn cleaning up the members of Evil Geniuses, forcing back the remaining ones underneath this tier 1 turret with Triple flashing forward for his own triple kill. He's got the burger unlocked, and he could even go for a 4-stack with Meech, Rosethorn both there. No minions. Smoothie might be able to survive, but it's only delaying the inevitable. Only delaying the death that ensues.
Rosethorn goes down at the end, but Triple fighting the triple kill, living up to the name like you said, looking for the quarter pounder, but now CLG in total control. They're not supposed to be winning fights just quite yet, and Cowrie rooted won't be able to chase down Meech. Or will he?
Yeah, he might try it. Okay, he won't fully go for it. But still, great plays from CLG. At first it looked a bit dire. They got caught by the Cyclone from Tomio, and with Soligo on a flank angle, it almost seemed like they were going to be able to turn around that fight, except for the fact they forgot about the Rosethorn triple factor.
Okay, and now with the Rift Herald crashing, Evil Geniuses are doing a good job with the neutral objectives this game. This is going to be their second Dragon and the Rift Herald that they've already picked up, and it feels like this game is still something that Evil Geniuses have a lot of play in. We'll watch this again, and I feel like the Emperor's Divide comes out rather late from Soligo. I think that's a big portion of why this fight is so hard. They're looking for the optimal divide, but they just can't find it. He's so cautious going in. There's so many cooldowns already used, and by the time he actually uses it, Meech is able to get back over the wall to safety.
There's a bit of that hesitation you saw initially from Soligo, where he's like, do I go more for a defensive or aggressive positioning? Opting for the aggressive, but eventually it just ends up not working. It doesn't work too well because you hesitated. If you're going to be aggressive, you've got to have the conviction to push forward.
That's not something I'm used to seeing from Soligo. He's typically not that cautious when he's trying to go for plays. I almost want to say timid, because it's the kind of thing where if he had gone immediately in, I think they wiped that fight.
Yeah, I agree. It was a knife's edge Rosethorn barely was able to have his own resets, which kept him alive and then granted triple kill ability for his own triple kill. Now you even see it, the repercussions of the play in totality. CLGA is now trying to match the bot lane, but they've lost quite a few plates to Meech and Breezy. That's a lot of gold with an Umbral Glaive in the inventory of Meech.
Yeah, and Meech is fishing for those hooks too. Not the hooks, but the roots in order to lock down CLGA. If he ever gets hit by that, that's an opportunity for them to actually try and dive.
Look at the gold for Meech. He's got just as much gold as CLGA does.
Yeah, and more gold than Kauri does, as fasting Xena.
It helps when you have 2 kills to your name, for sure.
2 kills. Couple plates. They're definitely way stronger. The fact that Israel Karma picked up 0 plates going up against Sen and Tom Kench is not a good sign for the future of Evil Geniuses in this game. And Triple, remember how we were counting to level 16 for Kelm? Gotta do the same thing here for Triple. You know, you said there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of tools that Evil Geniuses have late in the game, but they are all outranged by Corky's rockets.
That is very true. The one saving grace I would say is probably having the hollowed ground, the hollowed mist from Surdy. But if they get picked off like this, if Smoothie just walks in and it almost dies to Rosethorn, had to burn his own flash just to escape, that cedes the control they were setting up with having Tomio right there on a triple, but missing the Emperor's Divide, they still at least get the kill. Tomio taken low, the shield will be enough to save him.
Okay, Tomio making a play. I was hoping that he would play to the bottom side, but I was hoping it would be a couple minutes earlier, right? At this point, fighting the kill onto Triple is really good. Finding the shutdown and giving it over to CLGA gives him the tools and potentially the gold necessary to feel confident going for plays. But it's coming at a spot where the rest of the map is already like in a dangerous spot.
Surdy is trying to defend red buff for Tomio against Rosethorn. The bot lane's there for CLG. Wait, whoa! Okay. Not bad, Surdy, not bad.
Pretty good, pretty good.
We'll take it.
Rosethorn missed smite, but hey, a win is a win is a win, and Jenkins now not quite able to get the turret, but this is when Gnar into Gwen becomes really fun for the Gnar, right? You have the completed item, you can just run Surdy around, and it becomes very, very difficult for Surdy to find much of anything. We were hoping that if he was going to find an advantage, he would do it around level 6. We are 5 levels past that.
Surdy should also know that that's the case. He did that exact thing in the victory the close game they had against Immortals. When he played the Gnar matchup into Gwen, he had that advantage and he got to that level and was able to bully around Vital the entire time. So now he's got to be wary. He's trying to fight, but all the while, his team's still losing out on the map. They're still losing out on turret's control, while Surdy is vying for some of his own control in the top lane against Jenkins.
There's the ghost.
Yeah, there it is. Goes Mega, throws a boulder at him, and makes him go underneath the turret.
Yeah, even with the red buff, Surdy is not strong enough, right? Those are the power of Gnar's W, the hyper stacks, giving him a ton of movement speed to play with. And even with the red buff regen, Surdy's going to have to give up his turret, but Tomio's trying to get some counterpan.
At least try to get some gold back for the team. Jenkins has already used the Mega. That was a good read on the side of Tomio to make sure he cannot hop, skip, and jump away. And Tomio getting the kill. They got to be careful as here come the reinforcements. The cavalry has arrived for CLG with Surdy in the hollowed mist, getting a bit of damage. But finish off by Triple for 1 Corky scoreline.
Yeah, I like the idea from Tomio where he just blocks the hop, but you know what the easier way to do that is?
What's that?
You press R. Right, he ends up committing the ultimate to the play anyway, so it's showing a little bit of presence of mind, but I think he's a little bit of outplaying himself there, but the result is still good. You find the kill onto Jenkins, and you get the turret down here in the bottom lane. So it feels like CLG, now this is the part of the game where they fired back in game 1, and Triple, he's got the package. There's no way for Evil Geniuses to respond. You already see Tomio top lane.
I don't even think you'd try to contest that for Evil Genius' sakes. You say, yeah, we know, we heard the alarms, the bell has been sound, that is packaged on their side with us having very, very limited vision control. Look at how dark the map is at the moment for the side of for Evil Geniuses. They've got some wards placed, but they have no idea what is going on in the jungle of Rosethorn. They've got this little vision, but that's about it. They still have to worry about the tier 1 structure that's in mid.
And they still have to worry about the tier 1 structure that's going to be falling in the bottom lane here in just a moment, right? They pick up the bottom lane turret. Corki, 4-1, well advanced. Already has gotten the red buff back from Surdy. And when Corki is able to split push like this, it's a really rough position because Azir can try and match and can actually, you know, go for brawls, but you're not preventing Corki from farming. Gwen is not preventing Corki from farming. Neither of these characters is going to be preventing Corki from getting the experience necessary, and apparently not even going to be preventing him from taking the turret.
I thought you were going to say they're not preventing him from farming again. I was waiting for it, and I'm let down.
I can. They're not preventing him from farming, right? He has the most farm in the game.
Thank you. I needed that one more time. It's also one stack away from
Comedy
getting...
comes in 3s.
But I want more.
We can talk about it a little bit later.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll see about that. We all know that's not going to happen. Because right now, we got to fight. They've been caught off. CLG were split for the moment with the Devourer trying to spy a little bit of time. Emperor's Divide knocking back 3. This could be EG's time to shine as they've taken down 2, forcing away the other members. But they got to be careful of those rockets coming in from Triple. But they'll take those 2 kills. That is a good turnaround for Evil Geniuses.
That's more what I was expecting from CLGA on the Emperor's Divide, right? Just going in ready to play, and it was a good catch. The members of CLG were not grouped up, but even still, they're not getting the important members. Corki, still farming. Senna, still fasting, still looking for opportunities to continue playing a little bit later on into the game. And so Evil Geniuses, they don't get the crucial shutdown. And Senna and Corki were able to find the pocket where they were safe. They don't do the damage just quite yet, but when this Ludens is completed, when Meech gets his Eclipse ready to go, you know that not getting onto Corki and Senna is not going to be enough.
And I think Corki's going to be farming again, right?
Yep, probably farming, but look at this. It is a good play, right? CLGA just goes in, separates the team, but Triple and Meech are still hitting, right? But they don't have the damage ready to go. There's not enough yet in the tanks, and that will change. So Evil Geniuses, I love the decisiveness. I love the fact that they're going for this play, but the next step we got to do, you got to get it onto the right targets.
You gotta stop Corki from farming, is what I'm taking from this. He's farming, and you've got to stop him from farming. The farming life is not, it's a modest one, but you have to end it. At some point, he's not going to be allowed to get all this gold because he's still got quite a lead. 4 kills going to help out, but having the CS lead over CLGA as well keeps him about, you know, what is that, 700 gold above CLGA?
Yeah, he's doing a pretty decent job, and when one of these big ones lands, ooh, okay.
I know. I thought that was going to hit him. He's 4 levels down too, so that would have just chunked him to half.
Yeah. And it's tough, because the Molotov Mortius that Triple is currently building towards, or potentially the Ravenous Hydra, right? Those AD ratios, again, it becomes a 1 point something. It's so much by the time you actually hit level 16. And so as CLG start stacking up, as they start taking control in the top side of the map, they actually do present credible Baron threats just because of how difficult it will be for Evil Geniuses to walk in.
And that turret is pretty low. It needs to fall if Evil Geniuses want to be able to get that full control over CLG. While Surdy fights against Jenkins, but he's mega. You always got to be wary of actually aggressing that far and that hard onto Anar.
He doesn't really use a whole lot, though. Actually, neither of them do because of the super low cooldown from Jenkins. But he does, like, create some pressure. Like, if Jenkins has to be wary that Surdy's just going to do that, you have a little bit of a voice in the back of your head. It's like, is he alone? Why is he doing this? And it's one of those moments where next time Tomio might be there. So, as we see this happening, I do like the fact that Surdy is making plays happen. He is still going even in a matchup that we've been talking about is pretty decent for Nar. So CLG, they're ahead, but they actually need to close it out, and I'm expecting we'll see more action here in a couple seconds when the next dragon actually spawns, because Triple will have his package.
So I just looked up to see like the different scalings that Corki has once he hits level 16. So the magic damage,
125.
It's actually a little bit different. So what it is you have 90 damage at level 1 with 15% AD ratio and 20% ratio. And then when you get up to level 16, it turns into a 75% AD ratio and 150 AD ratio on the big one. But there, the fight, it's working out well because Jenkins solos out Surdy. There is no flank capable of stopping the side of CLG, who dive deep in and kill off Tomio.
And we see Viego, Rosethorn able to pick up the smite, steals it away from right underneath the nose of Evil Geniuses. They aren't able to set up the battle lines, and they try and contest Corki while he has the most powerful ability potentially in the game. CLG in total control, and now as they pivot over towards the Baron, they have no Tomio to go for a smite. It's got to be some kind of miracle. We saw crazy things from JJ yesterday, but Smoothie's not on board.
It could be up to Saligo. We've seen Azir steals as well. With how fast it's being taken, though, it might be too late for him to actually get inside. It is getting whittled down. They've peeled off to force away Evil Geniuses, and then smite secured. No way in hell they were going to lose that.
Yeah, good stuff from CLG, playing to their win conditions, understanding that they can just take these fights as long as the package is available to them. It will be slightly late for the next dragon, but Saligo...
Saligo's looking for this play on a Jenkins. Nice flash, though. That was a great flash from Jenkins to deny any plays from from EG that could have actually netted a little bit of control back for Evil Geniuses. And I even want to kind of go back to that last play and talk about that a bit more. The one before the Baron, this one right here, because you gotta respect the attempt from Evil Geniuses trying to grab the dragon. But Jenkins, is the fact that he's able to solo out Surdy denies a lot that Evil Geniuses would be capable of.
Tomio.
Oh, yeah, those big ones. Those are the problems that you have to contend against. But if triple doesn't land them, you don't have to worry too much. Now Tomio getting a little bit of movement speed, flashing away. Same with the Shurima Shuffle away out of Saligo. They were the ones attempting that play as well. They burned 2 flashes from Evil Geniuses, and they got nothing. They weren't able to deny the Baron from still pouring into their base, probably toppling this tier 2 structure.
And Evil Geniuses, they're still fighting, right? They're still trying to make something happen, and that's something I have a lot of respect to Saligo and Sturdy in particular for still trying to make things happen. Again, it feels like Kauri has been relatively invisible this game. He's got killed by Meech and Breezy a couple of times, and now he's already on 3 items on this Ezreal. He's well past the point of prime relevancy. He's got 100 CS lead over Breezy, but he needs to find more than that.
Well, here, Evil Geniuses, they force away 3 members of CLG, but if you're using all 5 to try to force away only 3, and still getting pushed back yourself because how much damage Triple can do on Corki when he lands those big ones, this is not looking well for the side of Evil Geniuses. They are getting pushed back in so thoroughly.
Yeah, Jenkins is just now creating pressure. There was a moment there for Evil Geniuses to try and get an engage, but they didn't have Tomio's Cyclone. They didn't have Saligo's Flash. It was going to be really difficult to actually get on top of Meech and Breezy, and as all the waves are crashing at around the same time, Triple in the mid lane, and you have Jenkins in the bottom lane, Evil Geniuses need to pick one lane and stop the bleeding.
Well, the thing was, that's why I was saying they were getting pushed back so thoroughly. Every single lane was getting shoved, and now with the attempted play into the bot lane, they have to worry about these rotations from Rosethorn, from Triple. They're speedy at making sure they close this distance so any call from Evil Geniuses is not.
Yeah, CLG have total control of the bottom side of the map. They have these 2 Infernal Dragons, so the Corki rockets do so much more. He's quadruple dipping right into his ability to actually do damage with these rockets, and as Tomio starts losing control of the map, right, he loses control of his ability to farm. This Wukong is at 26 minutes. He doesn't have a second item completed, and he probably won't complete it until about 30 minutes at this point. It just feels really dire for the members of Evil Geniuses, and we said that they just need to find one win in order to get themselves back on track. But the players who need to be showing up, it feels like aren't, and CLG, they're playing very standard League of Legends, and that's enough.
Slow, calculated gameplay out of CLG. They were able to turn up the heat a bit, get themselves a nice 8,000 gold lead over Evil Geniuses here at 27 minutes into the game. You talked about Tomio not having that item completed and probably won't until the 30-minute mark. We'll see if the game even lasts that long. Because CLG, it seems like they're like you called out. They're playing intelligently. Though this pick on Triple might be an intelligent play from the side of Evil Geniuses to get a shutdown for Saligo.
There you go. He thought he was safe. He checked the bush with a phosphorus bomb, but they were so far deep into the back that there was not enough. And now Triple's going to be dead for this dragon. CLG going to try and erase it before there's an opportunity to do it. And now Evil Geniuses, they're going to be teleporting Saligo in.
Okay, let's see how fast CLG can take this. It is burning, it is melting. Saligo's too late to defend it, but they might have a fight afterwards. They're chasing down CLG,
Ghosting.
looking for that ghost like you called out, but nobody was following up Surdy. Instead, they have to let the speedy members of CLG escape and take the bounty gold from mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, they get a shutdown top lane. They get a objective bounty in the mid lane. The gold lead is slightly smaller, but the third dragon goes over to CLG. They do a ton of damage, and with a minute left until the Baron, I feel like that's where Evil Geniuses will be forced to either make a stand or give up the Baron. And CLG, we also have to note, Meech is at 123, 124 souls at this point. He's outranging basically everyone. He's currently at the spot where he is able to even challenge Azir's auto attack range, and that is not a position where Evil Geniuses are comfortable playing in, because that's at only 28 minutes. If you give this guy another 10 minutes to farm, he's going to be able to auto-attack turrets from outside their range.
Well, this is why we talked about scaling on both sides. Senna having all these tanks, 125 now. Lots of range to make sure Cowrie, who's another good scaling champion. People always forget about that with Ezreal, that he does well with more items. And even looking at his build, despite not having a mythic, Ezreal is one of the few champions that is more than happy just having the regular legendary items. He doesn't necessarily need that mythic to truly be a threat.
And we'll see. I believe he's building towards either a Duskblade or Prowler's Claw or Eclipse, right? Basically, pick your poison.
I would assume Prowler's Claw, right? Just because there's not that much sinkiness on the side of, God, I keep saying it, on CLG.
They're all about equally popular, right? I wouldn't hate any of them. The biggest thing is he recognized that there's a lot of squishy members, and he just needs to do as much damage as possible, and it is a cheap mythic.
Right.
But, as we've already talked about, Magical,
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's enough. The one point of pride that I do have right now for Evil Geniuses, though, is that Jenkins has not been able to build up a real lead over Surdy. They've done a decent job keeping him down, and I feel like that's, it's not entirely attributable to Surdy. We've seen that Tomio and Saligo have been contributing to the fact that Jenkins is not really that far ahead, except for all the global gold that the team has grabbed. But it is, a point of power, right? I feel like Evil Geniuses have seen places where they can find their leads. They just haven't been able to execute on them yet.
Yeah, see, you say that, but he still has nearly a full item lead over Surdy, and this is where things get difficult and get wary for Evil Geniuses. They're behind nearly an item throughout every single one of their lanes. The only one really not far behind is Cowrie, but he's going up against Fasting Senna, and the Fasting Senna has just as many items as he does.
Yep. Now, they're much cheaper, to be fair, but it is going to be CLG with total control of the map. They are looking around. He's only down about 2,000 gold as the fastest center, right?
Right.
Not farming until very recently. But now, they're starting to hit the Baron, and Evil Geniuses have to decide. Do you want to fight the game now, or do you want to fight for the game under your Nexus turrets?
And
I guess it's under the Nexus turrets.
Big one. Make sure it will be under the Nexus turrets, as you had called out, Joshi, because they are getting chased away. CLG completely peeled from the objective because they realized the power level 17 Corki provides.
Yeah, one single rocket taking half HP off of multiple members. I'm a bit surprised that CLG aren't just going for the Baron right now. They're trying to actually just find the fight.
I'm a bit surprised by that as well. Maybe it is more of that slow paint-by-numbers League of Legends gameplay that CLG want to commit to, though.
Yeah.
It's just
now, like, Evil Geniuses, they're healed up. They can try again.
I mean, but then again, CLG can do the same thing, too. It's not like they took any damage beforehand. Breezy, he's getting chunked out a bit there, but it's not really enough to stick. And look at CLG. They've got Rosethorn and Triple already on the Baron. They're already focusing that down. Of course, it will be spotted by Tomio. They sent out one rocket to try to scare him off, but they're not losing anything for this dance around the objective.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to play around the Infernal Dragon instead, right? I feel like they, a bit more decisiveness could have come out from CLG, and it would have definitely helped them win the game kind of, maybe an extra 2 minutes faster. But at the end of the day, a W is a dub. And CLG, as they group back up, Triple will have his package available, probably another half item completed, and as they move back onto the map for this Infernal Dragon, Evil Geniuses, they don't have a lot of good ways to play. They mostly are just hoping that Cowrie pops off or Saligo pops off in this fight.
And they've been slowly bleeding out this entire time as well, so unless someone like Saligo or Cowrie pops off, unless they have maybe a good catch out on to Meech or something, I don't know what Evil Geniuses can do. It's just been a slow
Oh,
bleed for a while.
hello.
And with a little bit of a fight on the other side, Jenkins about to go Mega, finding Tomio to get the stun from Rosethorn, throw him into the wall as well. But the collapse attempted by Evil Geniuses on the other side. They're still outmanned and outgunned. Tomio has to go golden, buying a bit more time. Might be able to flash away, but they already got the kill on Monkey King. No smite to the name of Evil Geniuses. It will be Infernal Soul times by 4 for CLG.
So much extra AD and AP for Corki. He does absolutely ridiculous damage every time he lands a rocket. And so, CLG, do they want to go for the Baron as well?
Probably.
Looks like they do.
There's
Grab
no smite.
another objective.
Exactly. No smite, no Tomio. That damage from Triple makes it so that Smoothie can't even walk up. He's never allowed near. They've got the package for Triple as well. The big ones are starting to really hurt everyone on Evil Genius's side, so they can't fight back. It is just a two-man Baron take at this moment by CLG because they're too threatened by Jenkins and Triple.
Yeah, Jenkins and Breezy now keeping the rest of the team away. The Baron buff is complete, and CLG, they're playing this honestly very slow. I feel like this is something where they could have gone even further, and going up against a team like Evil Geniuses who are still struggling to find wins, you want to push those limits, right? I feel like that's what we've been seeing from teams like Team Liquid and and Cloud9, and it's part of why they are our best teams, because they're willing to just like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go even farther. Let's see how much more we can get in this moment. But CLG, I don't hate it, right? It is a little bit slower. It is something that will get them the W, but the fact that the game is still going is giving opportunities for Evil Geniuses to find these miracle plays.
Yeah, is it though? That's the bigger question.
It's not zero. The point is, it's not 0%.
Right.
Like,
So it's a non-0%, but
Yeah.
that's not really that great either. Unless this pick on Rosethorn would work out well, they know he's nearby, but they just don't have the confidence. Evil Genius is down 10,000 gold, down an Infernal Soul to CLG with Triple nearly being full built on Corki.
Okay,
The
30.
damage they can do, they pull back in a attempted fight onto Tomio, and without Tomio again, 30, who's on the flank, waiting to see if he can start up a fight, just can't get in there. These rockets are whittling away and taking down the bot lane. 30 is on the other side of the fight, long way from home, just watching his team fall apart. The base is in tatters. It is ruined by CLG. They are toppling everything in their way as 30 gets soloed out by Jenkins. He tries to stand this, but the hyper stack was there.
And it's just too much. Triple with 4 Infernal Dragons with a late game Corki. Meech continuing to stack up.
Look at those
it's
rockets!
Just so much damage. He just crushes down their HP bar. But it is going to be a CLG finding 2 back-to-back victories.
2 back-to-back victories for CLG Academy, both convincingly done. Looking at how Triple piloted both Talia and Corki, really those were... I wouldn't say they're the main carries, but that's where they had most of their confidence in. They knew that Triple, when it came to the mid game, when it came to the late game, was who they had to rely on, and it worked both times perfectly.
Yeah, there's good stuff coming out from Triple. Triple in particular, like you already identified, had a great series of games today. Meech and Breezy also continuing to showcase why they're this bottom lane that we are going to continue praising. They beat up Carry Smoothie, they sent in Tom Kench yet again, finding a lot of advantages up against Carry and Smoothie's Ezreal Karma, and this is going to be a recurring thing. If they can play all kinds of different styles of the bottom lane, they're going to find a lot more success.
And at the moment, now 10-6 after 3 weeks of play, CLG starting to contend towards the top of the standings as we kind of expected going into this split. But for now, we're going to toss it to a break. When we come back, we'll have Mazel interviewing one of the CLG Academy players. Make sure you stick around.
You remember I asked you to meet in the middle.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Now I'm here all alone again.
You usually need a bit more time.
You were talking in riddles. Now you're lying to me again. You think I'm going crazy, but I'm not missing you. I only miss the illusion you pretended to be. I'm not acting crazy. fix a lucid, and I know that I'll be fine. I guess that is self-love. You think I'm going crazy, but I'm not missing you. I only miss the illusion you pretended to be. I'm not acting crazy, I just said we're through. Baby, you gave a lot. What about trust? What about all this time you looked in my eyes, babe? What about commitment? What about all the empty promises? Oh, what about?
Welcome back to the Verizon post-game interview. I'm joined by Rose Thorn, the jungler for CLG Academy, after a dominant finish to week number 3. I had to check in with you, Rose Thorn. How has the summer split been for you so far? How are you feeling?
Honestly, not too great. I mean, I'm not super happy about my position, and I don't think I've been playing even close to like my own standards. But while I'm here, I'm just trying to prove that I can become the best still, and just making sure my like teammates look good too. So I think so far it's been not too bad.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that comes to mind when I think for you is, striking when the iron is hot, taking this opportunity that you have and making the most out of it. What do you feel like you've been improving on the most so far in the summer split? I know it's a short stint so far, but what do you feel like has been the thing you've been honing in on?
Definitely just becoming more consistent with communication in general, and not being like too stressed about the different like hard moments when like like stressful team, like there's like big team fights when you can like choke up, right? So I think those are the two main things for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear a little bit of that growth coming through for you, at least through the season so far. How's it been working with the team? I know you're not in the position that you necessarily want to be, but you've gotten a little bit comfortable there again with the squad in the summer split this time around. How has it been kind of working with them on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, two of them I played with since spring, right? Triple and Breezy.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
I think Jenkins has been a little different to like adjust to, because it's just a different play style and I guess personality and like in the team. And Meech is also like super different from Prismal. But overall,
Yeah.
it's been like not too hard to adjust to everything. Like it's just two new pieces where it's different. So um we're just like, I feel like we just managed to just slide right in and just continue to like try to progress from and build off of what we made last split.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the first place finish in regular season, not too shabby to build off of there. How do you feel about the meta so far, especially with the rapid changes in succession that we've had? How do you feel you're slotting into the meta itself right now in the jungle?
Yeah, I think there are a ton of jungle picks that can like honestly be picked that like I haven't like I like clearly like didn't show. Like I think I have like 10 or 11 games of EGA now, so I'm like a bit of a one trick on stage. But yeah, well, if when the time is right, like hopefully I can pull out something else that can be just a little more different.
I love to hear it, man. Rose Thorn, it's getting to chat with you is super huge. I want to give you the stage for a moment. I want to give you a chance to, talk to any Rose Thorn fans, give any messages out that you really want to give out, because you are taking the opportunity you can in the academy right now, and you're proving that it comes with dubs, it comes with wins here with the Rose Thorn brand. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, thank you to those who are supporting me, and just wanted to shout out my teammates who have been really supportive and just helpful throughout this entire like process while I'm subbing in. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna continue to show like my value, and like I know that I'm like at least top half of the academy junglers, so like hopefully I'll find another spot soon.
Hey, I'm sure we'll see more of you, Rose Thorn, especially with the rest of the Academy split as we continue on. And getting to see you win today was an absolutely great step forward. Go enjoy the wins, but got to get right back to the competition for the following weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
All righty. Going to go ahead and bring it back in Joshi and Mad Magical to finish out the day, as we did get to hear from Rose Thorn a little bit. Got to hear, obviously, a little bit of the frustrations, but still some of the smiles, some of the successes, some of the growth that we love to see in Academy Magical.
Oh, of course, there's going to be frustrations, right? You're never going to be confident when you're like, oh, there's someone else meant to play for you. You're the sub, blah, blah, blah. But if he can continue to put on good performances, continue to show that he is a jungler that people need to look to, even if he does end up getting replaced by the guy who's supposed to be in his position, he makes a great case for why you need to pick him in 2023. Or if we look towards Proving Grounds, where I would expect to see him at the Proving Grounds facing off against these Academy teams, still jungling out of his mind.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking to see if we can get a bit of a return to what we saw at the beginning of spring 2022, right? He's definitely showing that he can still play a lot of the different ways that we saw him find success on CLG previously, but it's not having the same kind of high highs, right? He's definitely feeling a little bit more, standard in his gameplay, and while that always finds wins like it does against Evil Geniuses, I really want to see him take a bit more control of the game like we know he can.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was talking about the Viego, obviously a mainstay pick, but knowing that there's some stuff in the back pockets we could see as we go forward. But it is the end of week number 3, so that means we got another iteration of the Samsung Fast 5. We'll go ahead and bring up the stats, some fast stats of the week. We got a few fun ones here, especially, the fastest at level 6. Hey, look who's at the top of that one.
Hey!
And we have some really, really interesting ones. Fastest item transformation, Joey at 502. As there's some crazy ones there. Joshi, do you have anything that sticks out to you?
Nah, I mean, we got a lot of different representation, but we are starting to see a little bit of a solidification towards people on the top teams. The one standout for me, though, is Concept, who is currently on Golden Guardians. The fact that they've only picked up 1 win and he's still on this list at all is a testament to how well he's been playing.
Yeah, I think also Cubby posted a 40-second clip of Concept walking at people, like literally running it down, but successfully. You gotta go check that one out.
Well, he plays Mundo.
He was on Mundo and just was walking at people.
He plays Mundo. He goes where he damn pleases. That's how you play the champion.
It is indeed. But gotta appreciate the Samsung Fast 5. Keep it eyes on stats, I guess, on all our players. It's been a little bit of a fun day here as we had some one-sided series, I would say. I still think that we had a fun day, and especially getting to see, on the other stream, hearing of Golden Guardians to a victory, things like that. Like as week 3 is coming to a head, it's all up in the air. Like we have our top teams, we have some strength. 100 Thieves lost today, though, Joshi. Like there's so much that can be said at the end of week 3.
Yeah, there's still a lot of opportunities for these teams to grow, and I feel like, I'm sure Julie Gilmer has already tweeted at me, it is extra messy, it is extra credit learning, there's still plenty of time for 100 Thieves to kind of bounce back. We've seen that individually they are very talented. Now it's about putting those talents and putting them in the right direction.
Hey, 100 Thieves were in the play-in stage of Proving Grounds. They were in the bottom 4 of our teams from Academy, yet ran all the way to the Grand Finals. That is an impressive statement. So there's always plenty of time to learn across the board for any of our teams, even for teams like Golden Guardians who sit towards the bottom or Team Liquid who sit toward the top.
Hopefully we'll have the schedule or the recap of the day's stuff happening so we can see some of those. I believe it was the 2-0 victory for Golden Guardians Academy on the other stream, and obviously still waiting on the last.
For Golden Guardians?
Potentially. I believe so.
Did I hear that right?
Oh!
Yes! Who did they play today?
They got the first 2-0 victory.
Whoa!
That's what I was saying. I was like, we got the there's been some craziness to finish off week 3.
Holy moly! I'm looking up. They 2-0 TSM.
Yeah, And so there was like it's very fun to see that going on. It looks like we probably don't have the stats for the other stream, but anyways, at least we know it was a 2-0 victory for Golden Guardians. Congratulations on that one. But we do got to look
Nice.
at the schedule for the next time around, the next time we see you on Academy, as we do have a full slate of games there. Wednesday next week, we'll be right back to it on this stream /Path to LCS. It'll be 100 Thieves Academy versus Team Liquid Honda.
Let's
Academy.
go.
Golden Guardians Academy versus Immortals Academy. Those are some fun ones. Golden Guardians also coming off the 2-0 victory today.
Right.
Big. On twitch.tv/academy, we'll have CLG Academy taking on C9 Academy.
Ooh.
FlyQuest Academy taking on Dignitas Academy. That one's going to be a super fun one. TSM Academy versus Evil Geniuses Academy to round us out. I know I heard some oohs and ahs. You guys want to talk a little bit, deliberate a little bit what you got what you thinking about, Joshi?
Oh,
Yeah,
what is
you got the
Josh
title
gonna go
card.
first?
Because I need to save you for last.
100 Thieves versus Team Liquid, Proving Grounds Finals, went to 5 games, played 15 games against each other in summer of 2021. Like, these teams are incredibly close historically, and now we get to see them go head-to-head and see if the 100 Thieves roster can stand up to what has been the perennial top dogs.
And now we get the best take for last, right, Magical? Let's see what you got.
I mean,
Who's
that
the
that
take?
was
Who's the
definitely
take?
going to be one of them. But I'm also looking at. I mean, you talked about the FlyQuest matchup as well being something that's interesting against Dignitas. I'm actually looking at the one before that, CLG Academy versus Cloud9 Academy. These are two teams on the
True.
rise that have been really popping off as of late, and one of them is going to come out victorious, or they can end up at a 1-1 tie. Honestly, I'm just excited for that gameplay and seeing how it's just a shame that it's going to be at the same time as the 100 Thieves Team Liquid game, because both those matches I think are just incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for sure. But that's going to be it for us here on Stream B. Got to give a huge shout out to my casters, Joshi, Man Magical. Thank you for stepping in today. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for the energy you guys brought to the cast. Esports Engine for putting on the production all week. I know things are not always easy, but hey, you make us look good on screen, and that's a hard task to do, I will say. Audience, thank you all so much for tuning in. To the players, the staff, everyone that makes this even possible, y'all are amazing. And now we got more League of Legends to go watch. We got Team Liquid Academy versus FlyQuest Academy over on the Academy stream. We'll see you there on Summoner's Rift.